Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to discuss the current affairs of 10th September 2021. In this lecture, we are going to discuss 8 topics which are very much relevant to UPSC. First, let us try to discuss some of the important topics that we are going to discuss in this lecture. So, first topic we are going to discuss about this 13th BRICS Summit. So, we are going to see some important facts regarding this 13th BRICS Summit and what are the important things they are going to discuss. So, that will be important from our international relations, which comes under GS paper 2. And next topic is about IITs top centers ranking for 2021. So, it is about rankings, okay, rankings of 2021. So, this will be very important from our education point of view, which comes under GS paper 2. And next topic it is about Ganesh idols in Hussain Sagar. So recently here Telangana High Court which mainly said that, so here Ganesh idols which are mainly prepared from this plaster of Paris, they should not be dumped in this Hussain Sagar. So this is the thing which mainly said, and this topic will be important from our environment and ecology because this topic is related to pollution, okay. And next topic it is about C-295 induction critical for Indian Air Force. So here we need to focus on what is a C-25, okay, C-295. So this C-295 induction which is very much critical for our Indian Air Force. So here we need to talk about many things regarding this C-295 and what is the significance of this step. So the significance we are going to discuss in this lecture, that will be very much important from our mains point of view. And this topic will be important regarding security which comes under GS paper 3. And next topic it is about 2 doses of this COVID-19 vaccine. So it is mainly talking about efficiency. So this article will be important from health which comes under GS paper 2. And next topic is about 2+2 summit which is between India and Australia. Again this topic will be important from our international relations which comes under GS paper 2. Next topic we are going to talk about this PLI, okay, production linked incentive scheme. So recently here this PLI scheme extended to textile sector. So here overall we are going to see what is the scheme, what are the important aims, objectives and which ministry it is mainly implementing this scheme and as well as why we need this scheme. So the things which are very much relevant from our UPSC point of view we are going to discuss. And this will be important from economy and as well as we can also connect this with programs, policies and schemes of government which comes under again GS paper 2 under governance. And next topic is about national security. So we are going to see the threats of threats to our national security, from internal threats, external threats and what can be done. So we are going to discuss this topic in a very great detail, and whatever the thing we are going to discuss, that will give you a brief idea regarding what are the threats now we are facing and what can be done, what is the way forward. So this topic will be important from internal security which comes under GS paper 3. So these are the 8 important topics we are going to discuss now. So let's get started with our discussion and let us see the first topic. Title says BRICS seeks inclusive intra-Afghan dialogue. So if you see everywhere, so it became a hot topic regarding this Afghanistan. So due to Taliban took over the control of Afghanistan and they declared that they are going to form interim government. So interim government which is mainly formed by some people who are mainly under United Nations blacklist, and even Haqqani group it is also forming, it is also becoming part of this interim government. So because of this now each and everywhere in every organization, in every regional grouping, so they are mainly focusing on this Afghanistan. So again this BRIC also mainly going to talk about this inclusive intra-Afghan dialogue. So this article will be important regarding international relations which comes under GS paper 2. And this topic will be important from prelims and even mains. So from prelims you can get a statements regarding this BRICS, and from mains you can get some analysis based question regarding this Afghanistan. So already we discussed about this Afghanistan number of times, and even in today's editorials there is one editorial regarding this Afghanistan in page number 8. So but we are not going to discuss that because already we had a detailed discussion regarding that Afghanistan. So in weekly analysis also we discussed about that, right? So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. So now let us try to see first context why it is in news. So this 13th BRICS summit held virtually. So in this summit they mainly called for inclusive intra-Afghan dialogue. So this inclusive intra-Afghan dialogue which mainly focusing on stability in Afghanistan. Okay. So in this 13th BRICS summit which mainly held virtually, so it mainly called for inclusive intra-Afghan dialogue. So in this intra-Afghan dialogue which is mainly focusing on stability in Afghanistan. So here I want to give you a small homework. Please open your atlas and try to locate where is Afghanistan present and which are the countries sharing boundary with Afghanistan. So regarding this Afghanistan, I also recorded one video regarding map pointing of Afghanistan. So if you watch that lecture, then it will be very, very helpful and it will give more information regarding Afghanistan. Okay, so if you're talking about some important details, it mainly says that the virtual summit mainly chaired by Prime Minister. Mainly this summit dominated by developments in Afghanistan, and also they adopted BRICS counter-terrorism action plan. So now whenever this interim government in Afghanistan formed by these people who are mainly present in this United Nations blacklist and even Haqqani group means, so many countries they are mainly fearing about there might be increasing terrorism attacks. So even one report mainly says that 100 JM terrorists are also joining some banned terror organizations after the people who are released mainly from Afghanistan jails by these Taliban. So Taliban mainly released prisoners from this Afghanistan, right? So those people they are mainly belonged to some banned terrorist organizations, and recently one report says that about hundreds of Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists they are going to rejoin this banned terror organization. So because of this, now all the countries they need to take a step regarding counter-terrorism. So in this BRICS also they adopted counter-terrorism action plan. Okay, so here in BRICS we adopted counter-terrorism action plan mainly to fight against terrorism and mainly regarding some of the developments which are happening in Afghanistan. So based on that we came up with this counter-terrorism action plan and also adopted BRICS counter-terrorism plan. So with an agreement on remote sensing satellite constellation between space agencies. So between the space agencies of BRICS, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, they also came up with agreement of remote sensing satellite constellation. And as soon as BRICS leaders, they called for settling the situation by peaceful means, and they also condemned the terrorist attacks at Hamid Karzai International Airport. So recently in Kabul airport, suicide bombs, not that suicide bombs, but there are 2 bombs which mainly blasted, right? So because of this, about hundreds of people and many people they injured in this event. So here in Afghanistan, whenever Taliban they came into power, so people are fearing that so their rights have been discriminated, right? So there are mainly fears of human right violations, and also there will be discrimination that is seen against women and as well as children. So because of this, we need to also ensure there is a proper human rights protection is also seen. So here BRICS leaders they called for settling the situation mainly by the peaceful means, and also these BRICS leaders they also condemned the terrorist attacks which mainly happened in this airport that led to killing of hundreds of people. So in this context, what is the need? The need here is we need intra-Afghan dialogue. So this dialogue that need to ensure stability, civil peace and as well as law and order in the country. So we need intra-Afghan dialogue, and this intra-Afghan dialogue that need to ensure stability, civil peace, law and order in the country. And next one is the document mainly title here is New Delhi Declaration. So this declaration also mainly focusing on humanitarian situation in Afghanistan, and also we are mainly urging for the need to uphold the rights of women, children and as well as minorities in Afghanistan. So these are some important details which are given in this topic. And now let us try to focus on some facts regarding this BRICS. So BRICS, it is nothing but it mainly stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. So this BRICS, it is association with more than 40% of global population. So these countries, they are having more than 40% of population, because China is the most populous country and second most populous country is here India. So because of this, here this group, this association BRICS, which have more than 40% of global population and with 25% of global GDP, right? And if you see what are the objectives of this BRICS, so if you are focusing on objectives especially, so one of the important and major objective of this BRIC, it is mainly broadening, deepening and even intensifying cooperation among different member countries for mutually beneficial, sustainable and as well as equitable development. So these group mainly formed with an objective for broadening, for deepening and as well as even intensifying cooperation between the member countries. And whenever there is a cooperation between these member countries, that will be finally helpful for mutual benefit and even sustainable and equitable development in these countries. So this is the first and the foremost objective. And second one is every member's growth and development, they are considered to ensure that relations are built on economic strengths of individual countries, and even that will be helpful for eliminate competition wherever possible. So here whenever this group is forming and they are mainly cooperating in different fields, means that will be helpful for growth and the development of those countries, and even that will be helpful in eliminating competition also. And next one is, if you are talking about this BRICS, it's also one of important objective, it is to emerge as an innovative and also even encouraging political diplomatic entity that was earlier formed just to resolve global finance issues and reform institutions. So for this purpose also it is a very important. So these are three important objectives of this BRICS. And now let us try to see some details regarding this 13th BRICS Summit. So this 13th BRICS Summit mainly focusing on three important regions. So first one is political and security relations. Next one is economic and financial relations. And next one is cultural and people-to-people contact. So these are the three important themes or three important things of this 13th BRICS Summit. So if you are talking about first one, that is political and security. So the important focus of discussion over global and as well as regional security. So the priority sectors in this political and security issues include reforms in multilateral system. So if we are talking about multilateral system, we are having UNSC, United Nations Security Council, we are having WTO, we are having WHO. So in all these, some of the multilateral systems, we need reforms. So reforms are very important for efficient functioning, and reforms are very important because they need to meet the present needs, right? And next one is, it is also focusing on counter-terrorism cooperation because of this Taliban's control of Afghanistan. And next one is economic and financial interest. So here in this context, BRICS mainly focus on intra-BRICS cooperation in sectors, for example trade, agriculture, infrastructure, small and medium enterprises, energy and finance and banking. So these are some important things which are mainly focused regarding this economic and financial things. So under this, they are mainly focusing on BRICS Economic Partnership Strategy 2020-2025, and also they discussed about the implementation of this Economic Partnership Strategy. And they are also focused on this BRICS Agricultural Research Platform. So, and as well as what are the operations of these platforms are also being discussed. And next one is cooperation in the field of disaster resilience and even in the field of innovation and digital health and traditional medicine. And next one is cultural and people-to-people contact. So the culture and personal exchanges, they always enhances intra-group bonding, and even BRICS 13 summit, it is mainly set to discuss this. Okay, so these are the some important things that you need to remember regarding this 13th BRICS summit. I hope it is clear. And now let us move on to next topic. Title says IITs top centers ranking for 2021. So if you see here, so this article mainly says that 10 institutes like IIT Madras, IIT Bangalore, IIT Bombay, Delhi, IIT Kanpur, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Roorkee, and as well as IIT Guwahati, JNU Delhi, BHU Varanasi. So these are 10 higher education institutions that are present in India according to recent rankings for 2021. So this article will be important regarding education, which comes under GS paper 2. So now let us try to see context. So if you see context, it mainly says that Indian Institute of Technology, that is IIT Madras, was ranked best higher education institutions in our country. So it is one of the important news, that is IIT, Indian Institute of Technology Madras, was ranked the best higher education institutions in the country. So in this context, I want to say one thing. So I want to wish you a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi today. And in this context, I want to share one of my feeling with you. That is, before doing anything, first we pray to Ganesh, mainly to remove hurdles in that work, right? So I wish you a good luck, and this Ganesh Chaturthi will remove all your hurdles in your preparation, and it will be helpful mainly to achieve your dream of clearing UPSC. Once again, I wish you all happy Ganesh Chaturthi. Okay, and now let's come back and let us see the context again. So Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Madras, was ranked the best higher education institutions in the country. So for the third year, this IIT Madras ranked the best higher education institutions in the country. So recently what happened, our Union Education Ministry released India Rankings 2021 under this National Institutional Ranking Framework. Under NIRF, that is National Institution Ranking Framework, our Union Education Ministry released rankings of this year 2021, and IIT Madras topping this. Okay, so if you see some details, it mainly says that IITs dominated the overall rankings, and here IITs are grabbing the top 7 out of 10 positions. So if you see this infographic, then you can see first one is IIT, second one is IIT Bangalore, next one is IIT Bombay, fourth one is IIT Delhi, fifth one is IIT Kanpur, and sixth one is IIT Kharagpur, seventh one is IIT Roorkee, and eighth one is IIT Guwahati. So out of this top 10, 7 are IITs. So this is the one important thing. So IIT dominated the overall rankings and even grabbing the 7 of top 10 positions. And the second place occupied by Indian Institute of Science Bangalore, that is IISc Bangalore. And apart from this, here BHU, Banaras Hindu University, also ranked 9 and 10, that is JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University is 9th, and BHU, that is Banaras Hindu University, ranked 10. So these are the some important details. And now let us move on to some facts. So if you see facts, the National Institutional Ranking Framework, NIRF, it is a methodology. So this NIRF, it is a methodology, so which is mainly adopted by our Ministry of Education. So this National Institutional Ranking Framework, it is a methodology adopted by Ministry of Education, Government of India. So this methodology mainly used to rank institutions of higher education. Mainly to rank the institutions of higher education, Union Ministry, that is Ministry of Education, adopted this National Institution Ranking Framework. So this framework mainly approved by Ministry of Human Resource Development, and here it mainly launched by this Ministry of Human Resource Development from September 2015 onwards. So if we are talking about main parameters on which there is a thing which is mainly depend upon. So on which parameters? So this ranking depends upon. So there are 5 important parameters. So first one is teaching, learning and resources. So this parameter regarding this teaching, learning and resources, which mainly checks the core activities in the education institutions. So in our education institutions, which mainly focusing on teaching, learning and resources. And next one is research and professional practice. So in this research and professional practice, they look into excellence in teaching and learning, which is mainly closely associated with the scholarship. And next one is graduation outcome, that means test the effectiveness of learning, and as well as core teaching, that mainly looked. And next one is outreach and exclusivity. So here under this outreach and exclusivity, they mainly lay some special emphasis on representation of women. And next one is perception. So whether they are giving importance to perceptions or not, that is also one of parameter. So these are the 5 important parameters. First one is teaching, learning and resources, research and professional practice, graduation outcome, outreach and exclusivity, that is regarding this inclusivity, or we can say like representation of women. And next one is perception. So these are the 5 important parameters that you need to remember for sure. And this is about this topic. And now let us move on to next topic. Title says High Court bans immersion of this plaster of Paris Ganesh idols in Hussain Sagar, other lakes. So this article mainly talking about immersion of plaster of Paris. Here we need to focus on this. What is this plaster of Paris? So this article will be important from our environment and ecology, which comes under GS paper 3. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that Telangana High Court issued a slew of directions. Telangana government issued some directions, including ban on immersion of Ganesh idols in Hussain Sagar and other lakes. So Telangana High Court gave some directions regarding mainly ban on immersion of Ganesh idols in Hussain Sagar and even other lakes. So here why? Because this Ganesh idols, which are mainly made up of this plaster of Paris, and whenever we are going for immersion in water bodies, that will lead to environmental damage or environmental pollution. So if you see the details here, a rich petition seeking the protection of Hussain Sagar from pollution due to immersion of idols. So one writ petition mainly filed here. So that is mainly regarding protection of this Hussain Sagar from pollution due to this immersion of idols. So here High Court mainly said that whenever we are going for immersion of this plaster of Paris Ganesh idols, that should be allowed only in baby ponds. So these ponds are already set up by this Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporations, because here whenever we are going for immersion of these idols in main water bodies, then that will leads to pollution. So authorities, they are also given some orders like they need to encourage people to use eco-friendly and as well as low height idols. That will be helpful mainly to check environmental pollution. So these are some important details. And now let us try to focus on this plaster of Paris. So if you are talking about this plaster of Paris, it is a white colored powder. So plaster of Paris, it is like a white colored powder. It is mainly made up of a gypsum. So this is one important prelims fact. And the plaster get its name because it is one of main ingredient, that is gypsum is abundantly in Paris. So in Paris we are mainly using this gypsum. So because of it is called as plaster of Paris. And this one is a white powder. They still form a paste. So whenever we are taking this powder and whenever we are adding water, okay, so whenever we are adding water here, then that will be becoming paste. So after that became paste, and that will be getting into very much hard into solid structure after drying of that mixture. So that's plaster of Paris, which mainly used to make cast and as well as molds, etc. So if you're talking about formula of this plaster of Paris, so formula it is also called with another chemical name, that is calcium sulfate hemihydrate. So you have to remember that is calcium sulfate hemihydrate, okay, that is CaSO for half H2O, or we can say like 2CaSO4 H2O. So this is the chemical formula of this plaster of Paris. And now let us move on to next topic. Title says C295 induction critical for Indian Air Force. So it is mainly focusing on C295. Okay, so if you see this image, you can see this is C295 transport aircraft. So here this C295, it is a transport aircraft. So this article will be important regarding security point of view, which mainly comes under GS paper 2. So now let us try to see this topic in very great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that the procurement of 56 C295W transport aircraft. So we are going to procure how many? That is 56 C295 transport aircraft, and we are mainly procuring from Airbus Defence and Space. Okay, Airbus and Defence Space from Spain, and this mainly approved by our Cabinet Committee on Security. So recently Cabinet Committee on Security mainly cleared for procurement of 56 C295 transport aircraft from Spain. So now let us try to see some important details. So if you see details, it mainly says that this is the first project of its kind, which is a military aircraft. So here military aircraft that will be manufactured in India under technological transfer by a private company. So now we are going to make, this is one of important and good news here is, so we are going to manufacture those in India, but technology we are coming from other companies. So we are saying there is a technological transfer. So because of that technology which is mainly transferred by other countries, we are going to manufacture those in India. Okay, so this is the one important thing that you need to remember. And about 16 aircrafts will be delivered in fly-away conditions from Spain within 48 months of signing of this contract. So if you see what will be the significance, so this significance part will be very much important for mains, and it will be the one of analysis point of view actually. So if you are talking about significance, the project that will mainly boost aerospace ecosystem in India. So that will mainly boost aerospace ecosystem in India, and that will also helps mainly for MSME, micro, small and medium enterprises in our country, and these MSME, micro, small and medium enterprises, they will also involve in this manufacturing some parts of this aircraft. So this is the first important significance. And even we can see there will be the private sector participation. So private sector participation is the first project of this kind. So in this military aircraft, so first time the private sector participation that can be seen. And next one is why there is a private sector participation, because during the process of this manufacturing in India, so we are mainly expected that all the suppliers of this Tata consortium, they will be involved in special processes and also will gain and maintain globally recognized national aerospace defense contractors accreditation program. So under this here, Tata consortium will also going to involve in special processes. And next one is it will also boost our Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. So it mainly offers a unique opportunity for the Indian private sectors that will be helpful mainly to enter into technology intensive and as well as high competition aviation industry. So here whenever we are going for manufacturing in India, that will also boost our Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. So this is the one of the important opportunity for India, mainly for manufacturing of this aircraft carriers. And the next one is it will also helps to reduce our import dependence. And next one is that will also create a lot of employment opportunities in our country. So this is also one important thing that we need to remember. And even that will lead to infrastructure development here. So infrastructure development will also be seen here. So these are some important things that you need to remember regarding this topic. And I hope this topic is very, very clear. And now let us try to see next topic. Title says 2 doses prevent death by 97.5%. So this article mainly focusing on efficacy of this COVID-19 vaccine. So this article will be important from our health, which mainly comes under GS paper 2. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. If you see context, it mainly says that our Union Health Ministry. So our Union Health Ministry, which is mainly come up with its website. So our Union Health Ministry's website, which is mainly an integrated COVID-19 tracker. So here our ministry which is coming with a website which is mainly providing some crucial information regarding COVID-19 tracker, and in this way it mainly provides a week by week update of vaccine doses administered, and even it will focus on mortality and even breakthrough infections in the country. So our Union Health Ministry's website which is mainly giving some crucial information regarding integrated COVID-19 tracker, and that will provide a week by week update of number of vaccines that are administered in the country, and even regarding mortality and breakthrough infections. So what is this breakthrough infections? So after even taking a full dose of vaccination, so even that person who is getting again infection means that is called as breakthrough infection. So this article mainly gave one important statement regarding this breakthrough infection. Let us try to see that. So COVID-19 cases that arise after 14 days. So after 14 days of taking the second dose of COVID-19 vaccine, so even though again we got this infection after taking this COVID-19 vaccine, that is also called, that is mainly known as this breakthrough infection. Breakthrough infection means after taking the second dose, after 14 days, whenever we are getting an infection means that is called as a breakthrough infection. So if you are talking about some details, it mainly says that the tracker has been developed by combining the data from CoWIN website and even Health Ministry's COVID-19 portal and even Indian Council of Medical Research, that is ICMR COVID-19 testing database. So this tracker mainly developed by CoWIN website, and next one is Health Ministry's portal and even ICMR's COVID-19 testing database. So this is the thing. And next one is on the need to get vaccination even after being infected. So this article also says that even after you got infected with this COVID-19, so within after 3 months we can go for COVID-19 vaccination. So this is the thing which mainly said in this article, nothing much important regarding this. So if you see one data which mainly focused here is, so vaccine effectiveness. Vaccine effectiveness in preventing mortality after a single dose, it is 96.6%, and if you are talking about after second dose efficacy, it is 97.5%. So this is the thing that you need to remember regarding efficacy of this COVID-19 vaccine. Now let us move on to next topic. A title says 2+2 meet to discuss Afghanistan. So again in this 2+2 meet of India and Australia, they are mainly going to discuss about Afghanistan. So this Afghanistan became a hot topic now. So now let us try to see this topic. So this will be important from our GS paper to under international relations. So if you see context, it mainly says that India and Australia, they will hold this inaugural 2+2 ministerial meeting during the coming visit. So during the coming visit of Australian Foreign Minister and Minister of Defence of Australia to India, they are going to hold this 2+2 ministerial meet. So if you see some details, it mainly says that, so the inaugural 2+2 discussions, they are mainly the one of important cornerstone of Australia-India comprehensive strategic partnership. And even they are mainly focusing to secure, stable and also prosperous Indo-Pacific region. And the important areas of discussion, they are going to be like economic issues, cyber security issues, climate change issues, critical technology issues and even supply chain. And even they are going to talk about this Afghanistan issue. And the discussion also likely to be including like some important topics regarding bilateral free trade agreement between India and Australia. Now let us try to focus on this 2+2 dialogue regarding facts. So this 2+2 ministerial, it is a highest level institutional mechanism. So it is one of highest level institutional mechanism between the two countries. Okay, and this dialogue which is between defense and as well as foreign ministers. Okay, defense minister of one country and their counterpart, foreign minister of that country and their counterparts. So India holds this type of 2+2 dialogue between with countries like Australia, Japan and USA And recently India announced that it is going to have this 2+2 ministerial dialogue even with Russia. So this is gist of this topic, and now let us move on to next topic. Title says catching up. This article mainly focusing on this PLI scheme. So this will be important regarding economy. So why this PLI scheme? It is in news now because so cabinet came up with approval. Cabinet gave approval of this PLI, production linked intensive incentive scheme for textile sector. So this PLI, production linked incentive scheme, which cabinet gave approval for even textile sector. So because of this is in news, and now let's try to discuss this topic in a very great detail. So if you're talking about central theme, it mainly says that the success of this production linked incentive scheme, which is mainly likely to hinge on how entrepreneurs weigh the risk reward equation. So this is mainly focusing on this PLI scheme. So this PLI scheme success mainly depends on how entrepreneurs weigh the risk reward equation. So if you're talking about this scheme, so this production linked incentive scheme, which is a one of outcome and output oriented scheme. That means if there is any manufacturing company is there, any manufacturing unit, so if it is producing 100 units, so here we said that if you increase your production, we are going to give you some incentives. So if this increased production, it increased to more than 150 or 200 or even till 1000. So based on that production, based on that outcome, government will give some incentives. It is nothing but this production linked incentive scheme. So this scheme will give cash incentives for 5 to 7 years and will be given to all the sunrise and important sectors which are mainly purposed to be covered in this. So which are the sectors which are mainly covered under this scheme? So it will give, government will give cash incentives mainly for 5 to 7 years. So this sector which has this scheme is mainly extended to different sectors actually. So why we need this? Because these sunrise sectors, they are promising sectors and they need some support in their initial stages. Okay, and next one is we can increase our export base whenever we are giving incentives, because manufacturing units, they will increase their production such that we can go for increasing of exports. And next one is there is growing demand in the world for diversification of a supply chain, and India can become a major player such that whenever we are mainly focusing on our production, then it will be very much helpful mainly to attract many countries, many investments also. And the next one is, if you see context of India, it is one of a major dominating in a special service sector which comes under tertiary sector. But here this is mainly contributing very much little in our global supply chain. So in this way, this scheme will be very much helpful for India to build its exports base. And next one is there is a growing in demand, there is increase in demand mainly for diversification of our supply chains, especially because of increase in dominance of China. So in this way, here this PLI scheme that will help mainly to increase our production, and also that will mainly reduces the Chinese demands. So India will become a good competitor for China regarding this demands. And next one is it will also attract global investments. So India can also attract global investments. After this COVID-19 pandemic, India, it is a consumer-based economy. It is a consumer-based economy. Mainly it will provide some incentives. Okay, by providing some incentives here, PLI scheme mainly attracts more foreign investments in India. So first one is we need to give some support for this sunrise sectors, and here we need to increase our export base. And next one is we need to diversify our supply chains, and whenever we are increasing our production, it will give a good competition for China. And next one is we can attract global investments. So for all these things, we need this type of schemes. Now let us try to see important features of this scheme. So under this scheme, the companies, they will get incentives or incremental sales from products which are manufactured in domestic units. Okay, so under this scheme here, mainly domestic units. For example, any manufacturing sector is present or manufacturing unit, they will get some incentives mainly from government, that is cash incentives from government, that will be given based on incremental sales from the products which are mainly manufactured. And if you are talking about implementation, implemented by concerned ministries or departments. So this will be very important from your prelims. So now let us try to see what will be the advantages. So first one is we can go for expansion of present capacity. So if you see so and so manufacturing company having the capacity to produce 100 units. So whenever we are giving some incentives means this, so it can increase it to 150 units such that whatever the present capacity is there, we can increase our present capacity. And next one is India is also expected to have US dollars 1 trillion digital economy by 2025. So in this way, so whenever we are giving incentives from government side, that will mainly give some boost or support for this manufacturing companies or manufacturing units, then that will also helpful made to attract foreign investments, and it will also helpful for generating of employment opportunities. So one important problem now we are facing, not a problem, it is a curse now we are facing, is unemployment. So whenever we are giving some support for the companies to extend, then we can also expect there will be the increasing employment opportunities, and we can finally encourage local manufacturing units. So these are some important advantages. So this is about in detail regarding this PLI scheme, and you need to refer in which sectors, recently in which sectors this PLI scheme has been extended. Okay, so this is gist of this topic, and now let us move on to next topic. So before seeing next topic, I want to make a small announcement on this platform. If you want to clear UPSC 2022, we came up with one excellent, highly beneficial and as well as highly economical course, that is Current Affairs Package along with the mains answer writing practice. So how this course will be useful? So one thing you need to remember here is before entering into examination hall, you need to know at least 1.5 years current affairs for sure. And this is right time to join this course to cover this 1.5 years current affairs. And one important thing we are mainly focusing here is mains answer writing practice. So even though if you cleared UPSC prelims, if you don't have any practice regarding this mains answer writing, then you will be out of the race for sure. This is 100%. Because mains plays an important role. Just prelims, it is a qualifying paper. So your rank mainly depend upon your marks you scored in mains. So if you join this course, you are going to practice more than 300 questions, more than 50 essays. And it will give you enough practice to improve your answer writing skills. There will be feedback will be given, evaluation will be there, and even on every Sunday we will conduct prelims test, and we also provide a video explanation part. So in this way, this course which is designed as per demand of UPSC. So finally, I want to say one thing, please don't take this course as a choice. Try to join this course as soon as possible and achieve your dream of clearing UPSC. Details of this course which is given in description box, so please visit that once. And if you want to talk to me directly, you can call to this number 8074765513. So this is the number, you have to make a call. And now let's come back and let us see the last topic of the day. Title says the national security disclose is changing. So this article mainly talking about national security. So here we are not going to discuss what is given in this article, but it is I think it is not much relevant, so we can't use those points in our exam directly. So here I am going to give you a perspective regarding what are the security challenges we are facing from internally and as well as externally. So this will give you an idea. Okay, so now let us try to see about national security. So if you are talking about location of India, so we have to see the location of India. So it is one of the important and strategically important location, because we are having a longest coastline, and also we are sharing boundary with many other countries here. Okay, with Pakistan we are sharing boundary, with China, here we have Nepal, Bhutan, and here Bangladesh, here Myanmar. So with these countries we are mainly sharing a boundary, and here we have Bangladesh, right? So with these countries we are sharing boundary. So here, because of this longest coastline, and even because of we are sharing boundary with these many countries, we are having some external threats and even internal threats because of a migration which is seen from nearby countries into this northeastern region. And even internally we are having a red corridor here, right? and here we are having Naxalism, Maoism, so and so, that is also leading to some internal threat. So if you're talking about national security in India, so India continues to face many complicated threats or complex threats and challenges. So some of them are predictable and some of them are well defined. So if we're talking about security threats and challenges, so there is a dichotomy of thoughts that we can experience in this, because some people mainly say that because of uniformed personnel, uniformed personnel, they will have some overview, and some civil research scholars, they will have the different overview. So because of this, we are having a dichotomy of thought regarding the security threats and challenges of India. So if you are talking about perspective from uniformed personnel, they mainly says that national security challenges, they are well defined external. We are having a well defined external and as well as internal threats or challenges. Okay, and if you are talking about civilian research scholars, they mainly say that because of lack of education among the masses, that mainly created some internal disturbances, and there is a triangle mainly formed by huge population. Here we have huge population, and this population, they are facing from problems like unemployment, and even youth, they are mainly facing some food security problems, and we are seeing there is increase in poverty. So because of all these things, that will lead to increase in crime, like crime against women, and as well as we can say money laundering and even robbery, so and so things which are mainly seen, that will lead to some internal disturbances. And there is a lack of social cohesion, harmony and dignity, and also dignity of life, and even dilution of some integrity of institutions, and polarization of people mainly on the lines of religion, caste, region. So these are some important things that may be leading to some security challenges. Some people say that yes, we are having internal security threats and as well as external security threats. Some people mainly say that civilian researchers say that because of lack of education and due to some problems like poverty, increase in population, unemployment, food insecurity, and even there is lack of social cohesion and harmony. So because of all these things, that is leading to some security threats. So if you're talking about external threats especially, so here we need to talk about two neighbors. As you all know, here we have Pakistan, here we have China. So India is sharing boundary with Pakistan and China. So along with this Pakistan, we are having this LOC, line of control, and along China we are having LAC. So if you have following newspaper from last 1 year, you know that there is Chinese military standoff and Indian military standoff that is seen across this LAC since March-April 2020 onwards. Till now, there is no complete disengagement in some areas, right? So we went for multiple rounds of commander level talks, and we saw some disengagement in Pongyong-so Lake area and as well as some areas, but even some areas we need to go for disengagement, right? So if you're talking about two neighbors, that is China and Pakistan, they are not just principal source of external security threats, but they are also nuclear armed states. Okay, so this is the one cause of concern. And next one is the territorial disputes and external threats. They are present on our subcontinent. They are result of unique geostrategic location. Okay, so because of history of partition. So whenever we got this independence here, undivided India divided into Pakistan and as well as India, right? So later on again, 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War that happened, and that led to Bangladesh, right? So because of all these things, now we are experiencing territorial disputes, and these are some of the external threats. And if you are talking about one more security challenge we are facing is India, it is sharing a long coastline. So we are having a long and porous coastline. So offshore islands and exclusive economic zones, sea lines of communications in Indian Ocean, they require some high level of surveillance and as well as situation awareness, and also rapid response capability, synergy between all enforcement agencies, and we need to provide some effective maritime security. So these are the some important things that we need to focus. So why I am saying we are having a porous coastline, because we also experienced some recent attack on in Mumbai regarding Taj Hotel, right? So it is mainly due to the sea route itself. So if you are talking about internal threats, so we are having a huge diversity in geographical regions. We are also having different ethnic people, different religions, different languages. They are coupled with social discrimination, inequality in human development indices, and there is lack of inclusive growth and polarization of population, which is mainly based on the lines of religion, region and caste, etc., and even mass unemployment. So these are some of the important factors that are leading to internal armed conflicts. And now recently what happened, because of spreading of fake messages in social media, that is also leading to mob lynching. So this is a recent challenge we are facing. And next one is the important aim of armed conflicts like even Naga insurgency, borderland army in India. They are mainly to capture political power, and they are mainly asking for autonomy, greater autonomy, right? So even in the northeastern Indian states, so they are mainly facing some boundary disputes, right? And even some states which are mainly having some disputes regarding increase in migration from nearby countries like Bangladesh, right? So these are the some important things which are mainly seen in northeastern India. And Pakistan has continued to indulge in proxy war come cross-border terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. So if you see here, India, which is very much near to this golden crescent and as well as golden triangle. So India is mainly sandwiched between this golden crescent and golden triangle. So there is also one problem regarding this drug trafficking, right? So this is a one important another more dimension that you can add here. So what is the way forward? So first and the foremost thing we can do here is we need to build an effective military deterrence. So India needs to progressively improve its military capabilities in conventional as well as non-conventional war fighting mechanisms, soft power and as well as demonstrated power. So in these areas we need to have a better efficiency and as well as better effective military deterrences, and we need the military deterrence. So this military deterrence needs to be backed up by comprehensive national power. We need good political will. So without political will we can't do anything. And even we need a strong economy mainly to finance for those requirements like aircrafts, missiles, etc. And we need social cohesion and as well as vibrant industrial base and support to public information system, and we need strong technology innovation culture. So this is about the first important thing, that is build an effective military deterrence. And next one here is about integration and jointness. So if you're talking about integration and jointness, future conflicts that would be short, intense, multi-dimensional and hybrid in nature, right? For example, we can also see attacks from land, air, even space. Now we are talking about space militarization, right? So this is the thing, okay? We need to also look about recent developments in attacks regarding cyber attacks, regarding Pegasus, so and so, right? So here we need to focus on this cyber and as well as information domains also now. And if you're talking about defense industry and capability, there is a need mainly to holistically and pragmatically review existing system of defense production in India, and we need to mainly focus on boosting of indigenous manufacturing, and we can achieve self-reliance and as well as quality products here. And we need to focus mainly on research and development that will be helpful for revolutionizing of industries in India. And next important thing we can do here is border management strategy. So we need to incorporate some technologies, okay, technologies in our border management such that we can efficiently manage our borders. Okay, so important aim of this border management, it is to be efficiently maintain our territorial integrity, and we need to maintain or we need to keep our borders safe. Okay, and besides utilizing technology here, we can also go for smart management of our borders. And here whenever we want to adopt this smart technology or smart management, so we need to have a clarity regarding who will be responsible, who will be the command and control authority and accountability for each border, and we need to also see on border dispute as well. So with Nepal we are having border dispute regarding this Kalapani area and as well as Susta area. So we need to also first resolve those disputes, and we need to come up with this border technology or smart management of our borders. And this one is in the area of cyber and space domains. We need to look at offensive aspects of the cyber warfare. So we need to take some important actions to protect our networks from cyber attacks. So recently power grids in Maharashtra mainly attacked by attacked by the cyber attacks, and reports said that they are mainly attacked from China. So because of this, here we need to mainly protect our networks, mainly free from this cyber attacks. And even militarization of space, it is yet another one dimension that need to be explored for military purposes. So these are some important things regarding this national security, and I try to give you an overview, okay, regarding what are the national security threats. And here one important thing that you need to also add here is COVID-19. So COVID-19 also, it is a one of important threat to our national security now, right? So because of this COVID-19 pandemic, it affected almost all the sectors. It left not even a single sector, right? So because of this, it is having impact on education, health, economy, etc. So we can also add this dimension now. So this dimension mainly given in this article. So this is just of this topic. I hope it is clear. So by this we are concluding today. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. And don't forget to enroll to this current affairs package. Thank you so much.